call the meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Watkins,
Present.
Earl, McCon,
Present.
Johannes,
Present.
Reinhardt.
Do we need to make a motion to excuse these gentlemen? Yeah. Do we have a motion?
I got it.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, public comments.
I have a issue about the junkyard and all these houses around town. Is there any ordinance against that, or you need a complaint to turn them in, or what do we need?
Police department does drive-arounds regularly and works on junk complaints. If you have specific addresses, that would be great, then we can go
I'm
around.
right down the road here, I don't, there's no house number on it, but everybody knows in Homer down there. On North Madison Street, second house on the second block on the west side, where Domskis used to live,
Yeah.
just on the other side where they built that big barn.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Burroughs at the end of Walker Street. You got the corner of State and Railroad Street. And as they drive around, you can find them all. And then the other issue is about, I think isn't there some kind of a deal about parking cars and vehicles in the front yard?
Yes.
Well, there's a number of them around. One on Grant Street, right across from Kids Kingdom over there. There's 2 or 3 on Walker Street on the west side from Compton down. There's a few around town, you know. Police drive around, they can see them.
President talked about one as well, so.
So, is there an ordinance against that stuff?
Yeah. For
And,
front yard, not side yard or backyard.
Normally, do you have to complain about them before they take effect or somebody does something? Or can the city do it on their own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Did we
can
do
I
that?
ask the next question, why don't they?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, 'cause you don't like to stir up the pot.
well, they're regularly driving around, they do a lot of driving, the police does, and, yeah, they look for that stuff. Sometimes they may drive by a house and it's not parked in the front yard, and they might just miss it. I mean,
We've lived in Bronson all my life, and it's getting kinda trashy in some of these places around here. I have to live with it next door to me, and that's, of course, I go to the
That's how
township,
it's-
I go to the township committee on that on there. I was there last month.
We
And
talked some.
they don't have much for ordinances either.
They don't have any, you know, the only
They don't
one,
have
you
any
can't see it
zoning.
from the road, but,
Yeah.
you know, well, it's been a month, they haven't done anything, so,
Yeah, we can look at it.
alright, thank you.
The other thing with junk in yards is it takes a very long time. We give them time, the court always wants to give them time, we'll give them extra time, and it's slow,
I
unfortunately.
know, but, you know, if something's being done, that's better than nothing being done.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, a lot of things you can't see that are being done because they aren't cooperating.
yeah, I don't know.
Even
And
though you're pushing them along, that doesn't always mean it's gonna work.
the decent people cooperate, and then people don't cooperate, we all know that.
Yeah, there's always something. Yes.
Especially my neighbor at my house. Okay, thank you.
Well, we thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
New business. Brandon.
Prior to adopting the resolution to submit the grant application for the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund grant for the non-motorized trail project, the city must hold a public hearing to gather feedback on the proposed project. We've received a few written comments, but this public hearing is to gather some more public comment before we submit.
Okay. Do we have a motion to go to public hearing?
I'll make a motion to go in public hearing. I'll second. Aye.
Opposed? For public hearing. Any comments?
I can
I'm
say,
happy, but I just want to be here to hear it. I'm really public today, sorry.
I should shut the meat off.
I've heard different ones tell that work in the factories down there that there's people that go through there on and off all day long. So people are using what we already have. So if we enhanced it better, hopefully they would use it more. And then I've had the other comment of, don't you guys have a lot of sidewalks? Why do you need to do it? So, I mean, I see merit in having it, I really do. And, but everybody has an opinion.
And
They aren't gonna voice it in an open meeting.
correct. And I have an opinion and something that I just wanna, I'll speak on when we go to the resolution there. That's me on that, so. But I mean, I'm with you, Larry, I think it would be a good thing.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing. That Matilda Street, where we had a sidewalk going out, Matilda. It was brought to my attention that that's great for the sidewalk out, but what if we widened it more, so if we needed an emergency vehicle out that way, out that way.
Oh,
Instead
yeah.
of just make a narrow sidewalk, widen it a little more so that we'd have,
But you wouldn't, at that point, you wouldn't need that because that's wide open there. That's wide open in that field right by the courts and the gardens in Kiwanis. And then you would be able to get to it with the emergency vehicle on industrial.
Okay.
Right there, everything, so.
I gotta go over the curb, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's duly noted, but I think because of what's there, the access to it, I'm not sure it needs to be widened.
Well, normally these walking trails are more than a sidewalk width, aren't they? The
They're
paved portion of it.
typically 10 feet wide.
Oh, okay.
It'd be 10 feet wide with a 1 foot shoulder. I mean,
Okay,
so-
I was
They can drive right
Push,
down.
push comes to shove, they could at that point, yeah.
okay, I didn't realize it was that wide, so,
Yeah.
that is pretty
And
good.
what's there now, you can drive down,
Right,
cause that's the old railroad bed.
yeah,
Sounds good.
all right. Do we have a motion to go back into regular session?
I'll make that motion, you second it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, approve the resolution 24-3-4.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Watkins. We've been working with Abin Marsh, and they prepared an estimate for the trail project on the old rail bed. To construct a paved trail, the total cost would be just over $775,000. Unpaved trails are eligible, but would not score as high in the grant compared to a paved trail. Under this grant, the city would apply for $400,000 from the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund with a match of just over $375,000. The city would also apply for a $300,000 grant from the MDOT Transportation Alternatives Program, and that would require a $75,000 match. So if we receive both of the grants, our total match would be $75,000. The TAP grant focuses on enhancing intermodal transportation systems and providing safe alternative transportation options. Using the TAP funds to cover the Natural Resources Trust Fund, again, as I mentioned, the $775,000 project, our match would be $75,000. The estimate does include sidewalks on the east and west end of the trail to connect to existing parks. On the east, it would connect with Kiwanis Park, and on the west, it would go down to the Elvers, or Little Big Fields down there. The city does not have sidewalk in these sections of town. If you look at the east, North Lincoln, Raymond, Matilda, Sherman, they don't have existing sidewalks right now, but I think the city should look at adding sidewalk in these areas in the future to better connect, if the trail project happens, to better connect to the trail and the neighborhoods. So yeah, and then the funds can come from major local street, depending on which street it is. But yeah, if council would like to move forward with the non-motorized trail development project, the Natural Resources Trust Fund grant requires a resolution authorizing the city to submit the grant application.
So the question I have on this is, what happens if we get the $400,000 grant, but we don't get the $300,000 grant? What happens there?
So we can reapply for the next year and try again next year.
So we wouldn't lose that 400 right away, and we would have a year to.
I'm not entirely positive, but it might be able to be carried over, otherwise we can reapply the next year.
I'm just fearful if we, I mean, if the out-of-pocket for the city is 75,000, I think it's a fantastic idea. I really do. 375,000, I'm a little skeptical, and I don't wanna go down that road.
No.
That's my fear on this. I don't wanna go one way, not the other. If we need a resolution, I think it's contingent upon both of these grants being granted to us, and the only cash outlay is the $75,000, plus any additional for the connecting sidewalks that you just discussed as well. I think that's the only thing
I
that
don't
the
see
city
where we
should.
can do anything if we don't get grants,
Absolutely,
other than develop the walking path that's not paved,
correct. Yep,
so.
I don't wanna do, I don't wanna take that chance.
correct. I agree.
I mean, I love the idea of it, but, I know the state spends a lot of money on this stuff, so it's the, MDOT. I think we should try our best to get what we can get, other than that.
I agree.
So we will find out in September on the TAP grant, that'll be before we hear from DNR in December. So if we don't get that,
So this would be a next year project anyway.
it would, spring, summer,
So we got plenty of time to,
yeah. Yeah, you won't hear anything on either grant until September, mid-December.
And I know this is a sore subject, I'm gonna bring it up again, but I did read, and sorry, Mike, for this, but on WTVB this morning, the city of Coldwater's doing the same thing, they're going after this grant, but the matching funds are coming from the marijuana proceeds.
Sure.
So, again, I know it's a touchy subject, I know it's something we've already discussed, but that is something, if we're gonna look at something like this, it could be something to read.
Yeah.
Again, we're just,
right, same thing you did, there's a lot of money floating around in these
Well,
other towns
and
from this.
again, I know we've discussed it, and I know I just don't, I don't know when or if it should be brought back up again, I mean,
Whenever,
that's another discussion we can have at another time, but I think moving forward with this is, we can go ahead and approve the resolution, but it's contingent upon both grants
I agree.
being awarded. Somebody wanna make that?
I'll make it. Resolution 24-3-4,
I'll second it.
You
Obviously.
got all that, Lori?
as amended.
All right,
Yeah, I think so.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt, that's,
The only thing you have to remember is Coldwater has a multiple amount of those that aren't gonna all be here in a few years. So, anyhow, we can discuss that.
That's
all.
another discussion, like I
Yep.
said, that was something that I read on that today, and
I heard it on the radio.
so.
I heard a lot about those gas stations.
Okay. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
I'll support that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Mike, thank you for showing up.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
wish you'd come to every one of our